Okay, so we've talked about parallel lines recently. Parallel lines are lines which are the same distance apart. Some may suggest that parallel lines are lines which never meet, but we do need to be mathematically correct. Parallel lines are lines that are always the same distance apart. That's the better description of them. And they are usually shown with arrows on the lines. So the same symbol will be on both lines that are parallel. So for example, if we had these two here, we may have two lines showing that there's two lines. It's just like two arrows on each showing that they're perpendicular to each other. Okay, so in any diagram looking at angle geometry, we may see parallel lines. In these cases, we should consider these angle regions also. However, something does happen when people learn new angle regions, and they seem to forget the old ones, but these still apply. So if you have a straight line within the diagram, the angles will still add to 180. If there are vertically opposite angles, even though some of the lines may be parallel, they would still be equal to each other. So just be careful of that. So the first angles I'm looking at are alternate angles. Now, as you can see here, we have a pair of parallel lines. This line going through them, this is called the transverse line. Okay, so that's the transverse line. And that transverse line forms several different angle regions that we're now looking at. Now, alternate angles, you will notice there is one on one side of the transverse line and one on the other. They are on alternate sides of the transverse line. But notice they are both enclosed between the parallel lines. There are obviously other alternate angles. So we have these green ones here. It may be easier to show you in this diagram. So these angles here would also be alternate to each other. Now, alternate angles are equal. So our angle reason for these questions would be that they are alternate angles if you identify their position. So corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are also equal. Let's have a look where they are. So here are our parallel lines. They are on the same side, the corresponding side of the transverse line, and they are both underneath the parallel lines. So underneath the parallel lines on the same side of the transverse line. Alternatively, they could both be above the parallel lines, but on the same side of the transverse line. They could be on the left side of the transverse line, but again both underneath, or they could be on the left side but both above. So all of those angles would be considered as corresponding, and they are all equal. Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles are a little bit different. Co-interior angles add to 180 degrees. And here are our parallel lines. And you will see that the co-interior angles, one is underneath the parallel line, one is above it, but they are on the same side of the transverse line. So on this diagram, we would have this angle and this angle. And as I said, those angles are slightly different, they add to 180.